Wow, so you guys really liked that first video, huh? I honestly didn't think it would do as well as it did, and it's still getting like a lot of views, so thanks everybody. But anyways, here we are, here's the second BFDI Iceberg. I'm sorry this took so long. I started the script like months ago and I just kind of forgot about it, so like, oops. This is basically the same concept as the first one. I'll be going from the top to the bottom, with the entries getting more obscure as we go down. But before we begin, I'd like to cover some things in the first Iceberg that I got wrong, or I've gotten more information on them. If you haven't watched the first Iceberg I did, please go do that now or this won't make much sense. So let's start there. Eggy on beep. Yes, I know Eggy ended up on the losers, not free food. That was my bad. Profiling. In BFB 28, when the announcer returns, he seems to recognize and know who they are, further backing up the theory that Profiling could have actually been there the entire time. Character regenerations. Another mistake I made was that I said Pin grew back her limbs, which is not true. Golf Ball extracted her body's color and created her new limbs from that since they have the same chemical structure. So yeah, that was my bad as well. Train tracks. This one is actually pretty interesting. A conversation with Satomi in January revealed that these storyboards were actually part of a scrapped short Michael was working on to make up for the delays of IDFB2, and it's now referred to as the December 2016 short. It's still unknown what this short would actually be about, but it's still pretty cool. Now, on to the main iceberg. Let's get into it. (2763). 2763 is a number that shows up constantly throughout BFDI.
X is hurtling toward Earth's center at 2,763 miles an hour. You've done this 2,763 times!
And the nearest yoil berries are in Yoyland, which is 2,763 miles away.
Where is Yoyo Mountain?
It's in Yoyland, which is 2,763 miles away.
But what does it actually mean? Michael has stated that it actually refers to the number of offspring in each generation of the Huang family, but it's still unknown if this is actually the real reason it's mentioned so much. X finds out his value. This is an animation made by Carey for his pre-algebra class, and it's the first appearance of 4, X, and a lot of the other algebrailians. It's currently at 5 million views, and it's still actually shown in some schools to teach kids about algebra. Battle of the Fantasy Foods 2016. This was a competition held by Wikia, where 64 foods from games and shows were placed into a bracket-type battle, and the top 4 foods would be served in real life at 2016's New York Comic Con. YOYLECAKE is one of these 64 foods, and ultimately ended up being the overall winner of the entire contest, mostly due to Jack and Jellyfy telling people to vote for it, which stirred up controversy of cheating. Nevertheless, real-life YOYLECAKE was indeed served there from a food truck with the winning characters put on it. Fiery underwear. This was a popular meme in the BFDI community around 2018, created by the user Cloudy Eggs. All it really is a picture of Firey with underwear on. That's it. It was eventually noticed by Michael, who remixed it into a song heard several times throughout BFB. 5B Level Editor. BFDIA 5B is a game meant to happen between the events of BFDIA 5A and 5C. The plot of the game revolves around Free Smart exploring and trying to escape Evil Leafy, who ate them last episode. The game was supposed to have a level editor added to it on March 4th, 2013, but it never got added, and with the death of Flash, the game hasn't been updated since. However, manual level editing can be done with some editing of the game's code. Bracely's Obsession. Throughout BFB, Bracely can be seen idolizing Ice Cube, but why? It all started back in 2011, where Bracely can be seen holding a sign that says "Go Ice Cube" for the win. Throughout BFDI, she'd be seen holding a number of signs idolizing Ice Cube, which most likely explains her behavior in BFB. Football. In BFDI 25, after Golf Ball finds out Leafy stole Dream Island from Firey, Eraser and Pin tear her in half to reveal football! But it turns out this is just a hallucination of some kind, as Leafy returns to normal in the next scene. What caused this? Who really is Football? World's largest oven. The world's largest oven is a location that appears several times during BFB, containing a number of rooms, a mega mall, and is seemingly in the middle of nowhere. The question here is, who made it? Why is it in the middle of the desert? What's its purpose? VR headset. On October 21st, 2017, the Jack Kajalfi Twitter account posted an image of a VR headset character, captioned, "A host with a screen." A month later, after BFB 1 came out, fans theorized that this could have been the original host for BFB. However, Satomi confirmed that this character was never intended for any show, and that Michael just thought it was a cool idea. Secret episodic message. In BFDI 25, Eraser says,
I wonder what would happen if you took the first spoken word of the first episode, the second spoken word of the second episode, all the way up until the 25th spoken word of the 25th episode.
Yeah.
And lined up those words to make a message. What would you get?
I don't know, probably nothing.
This is actually true, and with a bit of effort, you can get this message.
Yeah.
What does
It know? I
See?
are
Taking
the word
with the
voice
of
the episode number of this message now.
Coincidence.
BFDIA 4 Woody. In 2017, Michael updated the thumbnails for every BFDI episode currently up on YouTube, but for some strange reason, a small Woody can be seen in the thumbnail for BFDIA 4. It's still unknown why he's here. It could have been a mistake. It could have been a joke, but no one really knows for sure. Leaked plushies. Co-creator of BFDI, Carrie Huang, accidentally leaked 2 of the official BFDI plushies before their release date, being both Pen and Woody, throughout several videos on his other channel, Yume. These videos were quickly privated after the plushies were noticed, but this didn't do much to stop the fans from getting hyped. Exploding Pie. Throughout BFDI, the character Pie can be seen constantly exploding for little to no reason. This could be a subtle reference to the SpongeBob episode Dying for Pie, where Squidward gives SpongeBob a pie which is actually a bomb, as a gift for Employee Brothership Day. Long Lost Yoyle City. The Long Lost Yoyle City is a location introduced in BFDIA 5E, and is the location of the Yoyle Navy. It's described as abandoned by the contestants, further proved denied the FB when tennis ball and golf ball go into the abandoned science museum. There is currently no canonical reason as to why the city itself was abandoned, which can lead to some interesting theories. Dream Sauce. In BFDIA 4, Book gets flung off of the Eiffel Tower and in the golf ball's underground factory, where she falls into a vat of dream sauce. Once it's heated up, it can form into the shape of Dream Island. But why does Golf Ball have this in her factory? Was she trying to make a dream island for herself? Abraham Lincoln, World War I, and World War II. I'm grouping these together because they're both incredibly similar in nature. In BFDI 20, when Leafy pulls out her niceness level chart, we can see that one of the levels is titled World War III Causingly Nice, hinting that a World War I and World War II already could have happened in this universe. Similarly, in BFDIA 1, when the contestants are showing their favorite screens, Puffball's screen is in the shape of the head of Abraham Lincoln. Does this mean humans existed before objects? No one knows for sure. Missing source files. In early 2021, all of the post-split BFB source files were removed from Google Drive for a seemingly unknown reason. Fans speculate that it could have something to do with all of the images and drawings off-screen, something I mentioned in the previous Iceberg video, but no one knows for certain. The radio. In BFDI 4, BFDIA 1, and BFB 19, a radio can be heard transmitting messages to the contestants.
Breaking news. Scientists have recently classified Earth as a triple planet system, consisting of Earth, the Moon, and something called Needles Cake.
Has this ever happened to you? You want to find out where Leafy is, but you don't know where Leafy is. Well, do we have the solution for you?
La 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 la, so fun!
Oh my sugar, the radio, it's back on.
It's unknown who's transmitting these messages, but it's theorized that it could have something to do with these satellite dishes seen in the desert in the later BFB episodes. First BFDI animation. On October 9th of 2020, Carrie released the recently discovered first animation ever created for BFDI. For a long time, it was thought that this was the first animation. But while searching through an old hard drive, Carrie found an even earlier animation, albeit unfinished, meant to serve as a sort of character bio for the contestants of BFDI. A super fresh, minty clean announcement. This one's kind of confusing, but I'll try to explain it the best I can. In August of 2011, Michael, along with Adam Katz, the creator of Inanimate Insanity, created a prank where Michael leaked fake BFDI info to him on a separate account called Mike H Twins. This was later addressed in a video on Jack and Jellyfeet called A Super Fresh Minty Clean Announcement.
Good news, everybody! We've been hacked! Somebody logged into Jack and Jellyfeet, and probably the same person, also created Mike H Twins.
Jack and Jellyfeet has been resolved, but Mike H Twins is not us.
Don't listen to Mike H Twins. Keep calm and carry on.
Promotional characters. There are a number of quote-unquote promotional characters that have appeared in non-canon BFDI material like commercials. These are incredibly obscure and include characters like A, Dreer Top, Grandfather Clock, and Shirty, among many others. Bootleg plushies. In July of 2021, YouTube user Aquapuff found 2 bootleg BFDI plushies on Amazon, being a Firey and Leafy respectively. Leafy seems to have no hands and a very large uncanny face, and Firey has 4 arms. There is virtually no information about the company that made these, as on Amazon their company name was literally just a bunch of random letters. Help. If you look at the stairs entering Golf Ball's underground factory, you'll see a message that says "Help" in all caps, seemingly written in blood. This was almost certainly added just as a joke between Michael and Carrie, but it's still incredibly ominous to think about what could have caused it. Ruby's sugar stash. In the Jack and Jellyfeet 10th anniversary video, the Jing Jing Squisher, Ruby can be seen with a big pile of sugar in her house. This became controversial due to the fact that it looked like a stash of cocaine. Carrie later apologized for this joke in his BFB6 behind the scenes video.
First of all, I'm sorry I implied that Ruby smokes cocaine. It's sugar, okay? I know it looks like cocaine, but honestly, Ruby just loves sugar. That's all there is to it.
Algebrailians are gods. This is a fan theory within the community that the numbers, referred to as Algebrailians, are actually gods. This does make sense in a way, as they come from the sky and have advanced reality-bending powers. But in the end, it's just a theory. Upcoming video game. This is another theory that states we may be getting another BFDI video game in the future. The only quote-unquote hint we have is in the Jack and Jellyfeet membership video, where Michael explains that with better funding the crew can make more cool stuff. We can see 3 items during this portion: the Firey plush, which we got, a book, which we already got too, and finally a video game cartridge. Swearing Lollipop. Seen in the storyboards for BFB 23, there's a deleted scene where once the have-cots find out that Firey burnt down the train, Leafy would have presumably tasted it and exclaimed that it tasted burnt, followed by Lollipop saying, "No shit, Sherlock." This was cut for obvious reasons, but it's still incredibly funny to me that this even happened in the first place. Cancelled YOYLECAKE winning animation. On August 4th, 2016, Michael announced that he would be creating an animation celebrating YOYLECAKE for winning the Battle of the Fantasy Foods. However, this was soon cancelled in favor of working on IDFB. There is virtually nothing else known about this short, and the only proof of it existing besides the tweet is this picture. Total Fruit Island. This is an incredibly obscure, lost, and possibly controversial object show mentioned offhandedly by Carrie. It was supposedly uploaded to YouTube in December of 2010, making it one of the first object shows ever to come after BFDI. According to Carrie, the host was an orange, and was an obnoxiously racist Asian stereotype. It remains lost to this day, possibly for good reason. TM. For the final entry on this iceberg, we have an incredibly obscure and possibly unfinished tool made by Michael and Carrie, mentioned in the video BFDI's best hiatus ever. According to Michael, TM would allow them to make BFDI episodes in under a week.
Leg 2 is something that we're calling TM for now. It's a pretty big project, but it's a tool that we hope, when it's done, will make it possible for the 2 of us to make an episode in 1 week.
It's unknown if this tool was ever finished, but it may have evolved into many JSFLs used by BFB animators to help speed up production, like the infamous spline tween. Alrighty, well, that was the second BFDI Iceberg. I don't know if I'm gonna do a third one. I don't know if there's much else I can actually cover, but we'll see what happens. I might do some for like other object shows, so we'll see what happens. And once again, I'm sorry this took so long. I procrastinated a lot. I thought by the time I'd get this done, the fad would be dead, but it's actually still going strong, so like, that's good. But anyway, that was the second BFDI Iceberg. Thanks to everyone that helped with it, and if you like this video, subscribe and like it and share it with your friends and all that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.